Hello my Chucksters, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today we are finally looking at Chucky Season 3, Episode 1, released in 2023. I covered Season 2 a little while ago. Can't wait to jump back to it. The first episode is about the president and his family, also brought back to same actor for the third fucking time. And also we see the old gang. They're trying to find Chucky, but enough of that shit. Let's get to those kills. Also sorry for no behind the scenes for this one. Episode 1 begins with this get named Henry. He thinks there's ghosts, but it's just his mom's bum ass. She said to go back to sleep. He says he wants to sleep with Joseph, which is actually just Chucky's ass. His mum says not to worry about ghosts, but that's literally all this kid does. Then we finally hear Chucky again.
We sure do.
Fuck yeah, I did a great ass job. Then the power goes out, and we had cut to a great ass title card. Then all the people in the White House investigate. This one goes to get Mr. President's son named Grant. He's smoking some bunk ass weed. Then this one finds Chucky, and gives it back to Henry. They're going down to the underground bunker. The lights cut off again, and one of them got bit. Chucky, what you up to? Then we finally see Jake's gay ass again. He's on Facebook Live, and acts all desperate to find Chucky. Also he's still making art. Fucker looks psychotic. Then it cuts to this news chick or whatever the fuck. She says they don't know why the power went out. Then it cuts to a family dinner, with the president and his family. Holy shit. Grant is literally becoming my favorite character, with his Roderick looking ass, and Henry is overreading about ghosts. Like what the fuck. The mum leaves, and takes the book. Then Mr. President grabs this knife to open this. Oh shit, Chucky's ass. Then this chump comes in. Also a Ray used actor. He's like, what the fuck is up with the doll?
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Joseph, and I'm your friend till the end.
He puts the knife back, and leaves the room. Then it cuts to Lexi's goofy ass. She does this weird ass shit, to get attention to find her sister. Even shows a picture of her weird ass. Now to Henry. He tells this kid to back the fuck off. Cause he has a bodyguard. He says he needs to make friends. Then the president comes back. He goes in the room, where he sees Chucky's ass in his seat. He takes him.
Who's the comedian?
Then it cuts to them in the car. Seriously, this is Roderick's ass.
You have to cut this shit out.
They arrive at the White House. Back to Chucky's plastic ass. Teddy randomly just stares at him. Oh shit, watch the fuck out. Yeah, he dead. And Chucky puts the gun in his hand. Then we finally see Devin's ass. He's on that podcasting shit again. He just talks about the same old shit. Back at the White House, they bring out the body. Then the news bitch talks again. She says it was a suicide. Henry's all fucking spooked. Holy shit, the president's getting fucking cooked. They just talk about what happened. Back to Jake and Devin. They're getting ready to do some gay shit, but then they get texts from Chucky.
Mine just says, fuck you, Devin.
Then Chucky calls them. Jake asks for a clue where he is. Chucky said he just now did. Also number is all zeros. Then their caretaker, aka the teacher from the first season, gives them work to do, so they can catch up. Now to the funeral. When they shoot, Henry freaks the fuck out. Then the teacher says they have a lot to catch up. Then Lexi sees Chucky on TV. They're like, why the fuck is he at the White House? And they say they're gonna go after him. End of episode 1. One person died in this movie. One dude. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 2, released in 2023. Episode 2 is about the gang going to Washington. Henry doesn't really do shit this episode. The crew hang out with Grant's gay ass also, and Chucky always be killin', and the mum knows about these deaths. This episode is alright I guess, but it's honestly too cringy. Well anyways motherfuckers, let's get to those kills. Episode 2 begins with the crew talking about how they're gonna get into the White House, and Lexi shows them Grant, the president's son. Then the teacher sees that Chucky's back, and she actually agrees with going to Washington. Like, what the fuck, bro? It cuts to Grant waking up from Chucky, and he actually be's nice to Henry, and even gives Chucky a hug. Then cuts to a fire-ass title card. They're at another breakfast, and Henry hears some shit from Chucky.
Joseph doesn't like fucking pancakes.
Henry.
Whoa.
They get pissed at him for his language, and he asks if Joseph can stay at the office with the president. He says yeah for some reason, and this fucking dude talks to the president, and says Teddy's death looks suspicious, and also asks what the fuck is that. Mr. President says his name is Joseph.
Like your deceased son.
Back to the crew. Lexi gets ready to make a TikTok about Grant. She does her gay ass sad acting. That guy checks out the old crime scene, and sees the good guy doll footprints. Grant starts going around school doing a TikTok, until some asshole calls him a bitch. He sits down and goes through TikTok, and fucking somehow sees Lexi's gay ass TikTok, and texts her ass. Fucker gets happy. President asks if anyone was in his room. They say no. Then she immediately goes into his room. She sees Chucky's ass on the ground. She picks him up, and fucker just comes alive. She starts gussying blood, and her whole ass head comes off, and says 3 to go.
But who's fucking counting?
Motherfucker, that's me. Then that guy goes into the room, and doesn't say shit. Then Mr. President talks to his wife. Then she gets a text from that guy, and goes to check it out. She freaks the fuck out, but Price says it's someone big, and not to tell anyone. These people bagged her up. Then the crew show up to meet Grant. She gives them some shit. Then they go in, and Grant hugs her ass up. They go to sit down, and talk some shit.
It says you guys don't follow me? Take your phones out now, you guys gotta follow me. Right now?
Fuckers trying to hit that, and these fuckers start dancing. Then Jake and Devin are trying to get it on again. Oh shit, these fuckers walked in. Grant throws a fit cause he can't have friends over. Then the teacher starts talking to them about that gay shit. They're like no thank you. Then they start making a whole ass plan, and Briggs goes to talk to Ms. President, until she gets a call, and leaves. She actually goes to talk to Price. Meanwhile Annie walks around the room, but then sits down. What the fuck is that? Oh shit, Chucky got yo ass. He pulls hard as fuck. Then she falls down and just dies. These fuckers get a call from Chucky's ass. They immediately go to the room, and she her ass. Then Mr. President he's door open. It's nothing. The crew still haven't heard from Annie, but then she calls them. It's just Chucky though. You're next. End of episode 2. 2 people died in this episode. 2 girls.
On the next kill count.
Flexing without trying, got these haters in the bag. No one knew my name, now my picture.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the kill count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 3, released in 2023. This episode is mainly about Tiffany's ass, and Chucky with Caroline. They do some fucked up stuff, and it mainly takes place in the past, with Chucky going to the hospital. Yet it gets weird, and Tiffany goes on trial. Meanwhile the crew do nothing. It's honestly pretty good episode. I don't know about the second episode, but that's pretty much it. Shall we get to the kills? Episode 3 begins last January, when Chucky was about to kill Tiffany, but then these cops bust in, and take her ass, and Nika is over here stalking. Then Caroline runs off with Chucky, and Nika chases after her. Then they stop for a second. After that they just leave, and get into a taxi, and Chucky just talks to him. Like what the fuck? They start talking about killing, and this dude hears, and wants them out of his car, but then just grabs this and starts putting down his throat. Fucking that shit up. Then it cuts to the badass opening. After that we finally see Andy again. It looks like Chucky's snooping. Oh shit, bro got knocked out. Andy wakes up with Chucky on him. He says some shit. Chucky gets ready. Holy fucking shit, bro. He fucking stabs up Andy, and he actually dies. No, I'm just kidding, fuckers. It was a dream. Then Chucky realizes he's getting old, and reads this book about voodoo. I think his vessel is getting old, and he starts doing some shit on Caroline.
Morning.
Then she just tells him all the shit about it. Last May, Tiffany gets a meeting. She gets on the call. It's Lexi. She asks where her sister is. Tiffany just pulls a cigarette out and doesn't say shit about it, but then tells her,
Chucky took her.
now to her court. They all say she's a piece of shit. Then Chucky and Caroline are at the hospital, and he just walks up in there like a normal person. Doctor asks what's up, and he says his vessel getting old. Like we didn't know that. He prints out a paper of what he could do. Tiffany says she's just crazy. Then Chucky and Caroline roll up at this party. Apparently Chucky needs to kill 6 people to do the spell or some shit. Caroline knocks and asks for help. He lets her in, and it cuts to Chucky standing over these dead guys. He busts out the chant, but it doesn't work. Tiffany ends up losing the case, and Chucky talks about where he's going next. It's the White House. Caroline gets him ready, and busts out crying cause Chucky has to go for a bit. He actually gives her goofy ass a huge Mr. President and his family are at their kid's grave, Joseph. Then Henry sees something. It's Chucky, and he wants to take him. Tiffany gets taken away, and Nika talks some shit. Chucky gets scanned in, and sleeps well. End of episode. 8 people died in this episode, 2 guys, and 6 unknown.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 4, released in 2023. This episode is about the president's wife throwing a huge-ass Halloween party. Jake and the gang go to the party to find Chucky, and Grant tries to get freaky with Lexi. Meanwhile, Tiffany is in jail waiting to get killed, but she has a plan of her own. And Chucky's over here acting like her ass. But anyways, let's get to those kills. The episode begins on Halloween. Apparently they're gonna throw a big ass party. That dude talks to her about it, and she just wants to cancel it, but he says it will be okay, and there will be security. Then the president goes to check on Henry. He says he don't want to go to the Halloween party.
Why have you changed your mind?
When he leaves, Chucky just gets his ass up. Then it cuts to a great ass title card. Now to Tiffany. She gets taken to this prison, and this cop fucking roasts her ass. She gets taken to her cell PM. Grant waits for Lex's fine ass to come over, and they have like this babysitter for Henry. She talks dumb as fuck, and Chucky says she's gonna kill that bitch. Meanwhile, Tiffany visits this girl. Sorry, I don't know her name. They talk for a longest time, until she starts getting pissed off at Tiffany. Jake and the crew arrive at the party. They go through this scanner and get there. Shit talkin'. They get up in that bitch. Grant gives Lexi a fattest huge, and they meet the president and his bitch's wife. President sees this kid dressed like his dead son Joseph, and goes after the little fucker. Then Lexi asks Grant to see his room. Chucky's over here plotting, but says something else.
What are you doing down there?
Checking for ghosts.
That weirdo-ass babysitter goes to check on Henry, then they play hide and seek. Lexi and Grant go to his room. While Jake and Devin go snoop around, Grant starts singing the gayest fucking song I have ever heard. Then Lexi also plays a gay ass song, and they start talking. Lexi starts kissing his ass up, and he tries to get something in. Jake and Devin look everywhere, but can't find shit. Then Tiffany gets a package. It's this voodoo doll, and that cigarette that one bitch was smoking. She starts doing some shit, and she controls what she does, like gross, brew, and she makes her put her head in this boiling water. I felt that one. Grant gets all pissed at Lexi for cock blocking him, and they see Henry with Chucky. Grant realizes they just used his ass. Then the power goes out again, and they chase after Chucky. The president sees him and picks his bitch ass up, but Henry just takes him. Then they start hearing some shit, and holy fuck, this thing kills all of them. Back to Tiffany. This bitch gives her food and also spits out her gum on her. She ends up using that to make this voodoo doll of her, and now she's trying to help Tiffany escape. Back to Chucky. He now killed more than 6 people, so he starts busting out the chant and looks in the mirror if he's not old anymore. But no, motherfucker older than shit. End of episode 4. 14 people died in this episode, 1 girl and 13 unknown bitches. Thanks for watching and subscribe. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 5, released in 2024. Episode 5 is about Chucky slowly dying, and the gang go to find out what magic could kill him, while the president trips the fuck out about Joseph, and Charlotte's still being sneaky, and Grant's just mad at Lexi for being a bitch, but that's it. Let's get to those kills. The episode begins with Mr. President talking about what happened at the Halloween party, but he gets interrupted by Ghost Joseph.
But here last night.
Then we actually see this little shit. This makes the president fall back, and he just starts flipping the fuck out. This makes everyone go crazy. Then Charlotte goes to see Price again. He says she should finally tell James about what's been going on. She's not down for that. Then Price shows her a video of the party. It's Joseph Bro. This makes her just walk out. And we get this fire as title card. Then James goes to check on Grant and Henry, and Grant gets all pissed because he brings up Lexi. Then he goes to ask Henry something. He asks if he ever sees Joseph.
The real Joseph, your brother, do you ever see him?
But Charlotte interrupts them. Then it cuts back to the gang. Devon says they have to go back there, but that means Lexi has to talk to Grant, so she goes on her way. Then we finally see Chucky again. He lays in his bed as a cleaner comes in. She gets weirded out by him.
They don't pay me enough for this shit.
Then Chucky dogs down her drink, and when she goes to take a sip, she falls over and starts spitting out a bunch of blood, but Chucky don't even enjoy the kill.
Just can't imagine how disappointing this is for me.
It cuts back to Jake and Devon. Jake starts talking about his plan, but Devon basically all over his plan. But this gives Devon an idea. They have an idea to go to someone who knows this magic so they go on the dark web, and Jake finds the location. Back to Chucky, Henry goes to check on him. Chucky just gets pissed at him for no reason. Henry goes to get his plank. But then he sees blood and runs out of there. He goes to run over to his mum, so she goes to check it out, but don't see shit. She goes to check his closet, and Chucky's too slow to kill her. Later that night, she goes to check on Grant. He starts talking about their texts and shit, so the next day he decides to go see Lexi again. He walks over to her, she says sorry and shit, and they actually get back together. Brew, it cuts back to Jake and Devon. They're at that secret hospital that Chucky went to. They start asking how to kill Chucky, but he informs them that Chucky's already dying.
Charles is dying.
Then tells them to get the fuck out. Back to President James. He sees blood coming out of the rug. This freaks him the fuck out, but it's not real. Then he goes to talk to Charlotte. He tells her that he also sees Joseph now.
I've seen Joseph.
But she obviously don't believe his ass, and starts saying all her problems. Then she just walks out. Then it cuts to Chucky watching movies. He starts making fun of the boy and Megan's bitch ass. This is a hint of the next kill count.
What a fucking joke. He didn't even get a franchise. Little bitch.
Then he sees that Tiffany's in jail. Then it cuts back to Jake and Devon says he doesn't want to risk dying again, and that they should just leave. But Jake's like, fuck that, and they have other idea. One very interesting scene later. They get out of there, and Devon brings up that same shit. Jake obviously shuts that shit down, and they leave. Then Charlotte goes to see Price again, and she tells him about what James is seeing. She don't believe that they're actually seeing Joseph, until both of them see Joseph fucking with them. Then we finally see Tiffany again. She gets a call from Chucky. He tells her that he's dying, and she says he should at least go out killing a bunch of people. So I guess Chucky's gonna do that. Then we see Mr. President walking into Henry's room, and he sees that Chucky's just laying there. Then he sees Joseph again, but gets hit in the head before he could say anything. He falls over, and Chucky starts biting his ass. Then he fucking digs out his eyes, and actually kills the president. The episode ends with Chucky getting the nuclear launch codes and laughing. I counted 2 deaths in this episode, 1 guy and 1 girl. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3, Episode 6, released in 2024. Episode 6 is about Chucky getting ready to launch nukes, and the gang finally go back to THR White House. Meanwhile, Charlotte can't stand talking with Price about this shit because her husband got killed. That's basically it. Let's get to those kills. The episode begins with Henry going to check on Chucky. They have a little talk, and Henry doesn't want Chucky to die again. Then they hug it out. Meanwhile, Charlotte and Price found James dead, and Charlotte freaks the fuck out for a second. Then she notices something getting drawn on the wall.
Who the fuck is Chucky?
Then we get another fire title card. It cuts to Price talking on the phone. He sends some people to take care of the body, and she starts flipping out again. She goes out there and talks to them, but she can't handle no more, so she starts to wake up her kids and packs all their shit up. But then Price talks to her, and she just stays. Then it cuts back to the gang. Lexi gets a little pissed, but Jake tells her that Chucky's already dying. Then Lexi says they're going to the White House to hang out with Grant. It cuts to these guys having breakfast, and Grant asks why she was acting crazy last night.
What was all that about last night?
Then she goes to talk to Price again, and Charlotte says she just wants to leave. But Price reminds her on why she shouldn't go. Then he said he called a doctor to look at this shit, and also, this motherfucker has a clone of the president. It's just someone who looks like him. They sit down and talk, until they get interrupted by this guy. It cuts to Lexi and the gang arriving at the White House, and Jake has a bad feeling. Then they go inside and decide what movie to watch, but then Lexi detracts Grant with the piano. They start singing and shit. Then Charlotte walks in, and Grant asks about his dad again.
Is Dad home yet?
No.
But she just blows it off, so he walks away. Then they have dinner, while Charlotte just spaces out and goes to smoke a cigarette. She sees Price taking the stunt double somewhere, while Henry and Chucky are watching. They put him in here so the kids won't see him. Then Henry takes Chucky to the spot. He's trying to open this safe. He opens it and gets the gun. Meanwhile, at dinner, Lexi just decides to spill the beans and tell Grant why they're here. He finds it hard to believe, but decides to give them a chance. Then Henry walks into the room that the stunt is in. He pretends to be his dad and tells him to go back asleep until Chucky breaks character and points the gun at him and tells him to take him to the nuke. They get in the elevator. Meanwhile, the president's ghost sees Charlotte, but it just jump scares her. The guy in the elevator gets suspicious, so Chucky just shoots him in the head.
I was killed with a gun. Several times.
They arrive at the bottom floor, then Chucky shoots and stabs this guy. Then the gang see the body in the elevator, and Chucky makes the double activate the nuke. He says the launch codes, and Chucky confirms it with his eye. And Chucky shows all the nukes he's gonna launch. Then he says he's gonna nuke the North Pole.
There's no such thing as Santa Claus.
What?
The gang finally make to the room and start bagging on the door. Henry lets them in, and they finally see Chucky face to face again, and Chucky says he's gonna nuke the whole world, while Devin films this whole thing. Then they say they're ready for launch. Jake trips him, and they shoot Chucky, and he falls down, but gets up to nuke the North Pole. Big ass explosion, and Chucky fades away. Lexi thinks now she'll never find her sister. Then Charlotte tells Price to stay away from them now. The episode ends with Chucky's spirit showing up. I counted 3 deaths in this episode. They're all guys. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 7, released in 2024. Episode 7 is about Chucky coming back once again, but as a ghost this time, and Price is just trying to take over everything. Meanwhile, the guys find out Chucky's still alive. Meanwhile, Tiffany is running out of time, but that's all. Let's get to those kills. The episode begins with Chucky entering the spirit realm. He goes to see Dembala and starts giving a whole speech on why he shouldn't go to hell, but Chucky ends up getting heated.
Fuck you! No. Fuck you, Mr. Ray.
So Dembala almost sends him to hell, but Chucky says he'll do anything. He says he has to kill someone, but as a ghost. Then we open into this bloody title card. It cuts to the vice president talking about what's going to happen. After this, they talk about how gold that was. And Price says the expert is going to be coming. Meanwhile, Charlotte talks with the double, and she gets all lost in his eyes. Then they get interrupted by Price, and he tells them the plan, but Charlotte don't agree with that.
No, not cancer.
Meanwhile, the gang are locked in this room, then goes to comfort Grant. Then they finally open the door, but only for Grant. He tells Lexi he'll be back for them. Then he goes to talk to his mum, while Henry freaks out about seeing Chucky. Then we check back up on Tiffany. She gets pissed at one of the guards because she didn't get some DNA. So she leaves to go get some. She sees him go inside, but gets hit by a car before she could get there. Then this van goes to the White House. It's this paranormal guy. He walks in one of the rooms. Price thinks this is a joke at first, then he freaks out about seeing Chucky. Price goes to talk to him, and that guy tells him the family's leaving, but Grant don't want to go with them, so he fucking slams the door on her. Grant goes back inside, then this guy knocks him the fuck out, and they get the bros out. But then Price interrupts them. It cuts back to Tiffany. This guard comes up to her and says it's time. She's about to get exuded. Back to the gang. The expert sits down and listens for anything. Then they talk about the spirit realm. The expert says they're trying to warn them.
They've been trying to warn everyone about Chucky.
Then they all find out Chucky's still alive. After that, something interrupts the radio. It's Mr. President talking. Grant goes to listen. It cuts to the double acting out his lines, but he doesn't know they're actually going to kill him. He finds out when Price tells him. This makes him take off running. He goes to her elevator, but then one of the guards gets in and he blasts him. The others get to the different elevator. While these guys are in the middle of fighting, blood drips on the double. Then it just pours blood on them, and they hear it from out there. They think Chucky doesn't have a weakness, but Jake reminds them about good Chucky. Meanwhile, the blood fills up, and Chucky's just laughing, bro. Then the expert starts to tweak out, and the elevator finally opens. They both died in there later that night. They all talk about doing a spiritual thing, so they all sit down. Then she puts him into some shit. I don't even know what this is. He starts talking all slow, and she starts asking Chucky questions. Chucky says fuck it and starts talking normal.
Fuck. We summoned you here, Charles.
Then he makes all the lights turn off, everything starts flying around. She tells Chucky to chill the fuck out.
My name is fucking Chucky!
Then he makes blood spill all on them, making the speaker fall, and electrocutes these guys. Chucky gives a big fuck you. Then they all sit down and talk. Jake has an idea. He says they could kill him and bring him back. He's trying to find good Chucky, and Price says it could work. Meanwhile, Tiffany's about to get killed, and Price gets the thing ready. Jake will die for 5 minutes. Then Devin gets all worried about him, and they start to strap Tiffany down. Then Nika comes to say goodbye, but really she's glad and gets a little too excited. Then they get ready to kill Jake, and Tiffany says goodbye to Chucky. The episode ends with Jake dying. I counted 5 deaths in this episode, 3 guys and 2 girls. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Chucky Season 3 Episode 8, the big finale, released in 2024. I gotta say this season was pretty good. But I don't know about this finale, it doesn't hit that good. The ending is kinda ass, and it's just all over the place, but I think it's good enough. Chucky takes over Jake's body, and Tiffany finally escapes prison. But that's it, let's get to those kills. The episode begins with Tiffany about to die straight up, until a random ass guard comes in and saves her, also killing a fuck ton of people, and Nika gets real pissed about this. They run through the prison while killing so many fucking people, bro. We finally cut back to Jake. He's currently dead right now, and I don't know about putting him on the count. Devin gets scared, so he tries to bring him back right now, but this guy tells him to just chill the fuck out. Then they realize there's more ghosts than Chucky. Because this fucker been there before, we see Jake wake up in the spirit realm, and he sees his dad breaking his shit again, like he did before. His dad asks why he's here, then we get this Fire Us title card. He gets pissed at Jake because how he died.
Do you have any idea how it feels to get electrocuted?
He calls Jake an embarrassment, then he tells him about Devin. This makes Jake run into a dance party. He sees his dad again, and his dad just starts shitting all over him again. Then Chucky's bitch gives him a drink.
This made everything make sense!
He tries to hit Jake again, but Jake acts like a puss. Then he says sorry and shit to his dad, and gives him a hug, and somehow turns this motherfucker good. Then his dad warns him about Chucky, then Jake goes to see him. He rebuilds Jake's doll thing, then Jake fucking stabs Chucky. But obviously it doesn't do shit.
You can't kill me, you idiot. I'm already dead. just like you.
Then Chucky tells Jake he wants to show him something. It's a whole room of Chuckies, while the first Child's Play is on the screen and everyone's laughing their ass off. Then Chucky asks what he wants, but Jake don't say shit and goes at it with his younger self. While that happens, Jake realizes Good Chucky running off, so he goes to follow him. It cuts back to these guys and Price is over here setting them up. Jake goes to talk to Good Chucky. Good Chucky says Lex's sister is still alive. Then Jake brings out a knife. And good. Chucky says he didn't mean to kill that one bitch from the second season. Then Jake tells him to sacrifice himself. We cut back Tiffany while she runs away. Then Nika comes out and starts screaming at Tiffany. They run again, but the guard gets shot up in the process. Then we see even more people die, the gate opens, and Tiffany finally escapes the prison. Back at the White House, Price and his goons set up bombs and shit, and the good one tries to stop them. But Price comes in and holds a knife to his neck. We cut back to Jake, and Good Chucky don't really want to sacrifice himself. Then he gets stopped by the actual Chucky. They all start taunting Jake, and he tries to say Good Chucky's different, but don't speak too soon, Jake. He realizes Chucky Prime is gone. And Good Chucky says there's no such thing as Good Chucky, and says he's possessing Jake's body right now.
Which you stupidly left unattended back on Earth.
This makes Jake run off. Then Devin starts to bring Jake back, and Jake sees that he's bringing Chucky back. He bites Devin and acts like he's Jake. Then all the bombs start going off. He starts acting like a fucking dickhead, and Grant realizes that this place is blowing up. So they all run out of there. Chucky and this guy take the elevator, where Chucky starts beating this guy's ass till he dies. Then Grant sees his buddy about to die. He gives him a key before he dies, and Price comes in to watch this shit. This gets Grant pissed off, so he fucking hits his ass and locks him in the room. He starts screaming for help. Then he sees all the ghosts and dies. Pretty tragic. Grant sees his mum and shit, and Chucky, as Jake goes to see the gang, he says he knows where Lex's sister is, so they go over there. This fucker answers the door, and Chucky be's a fucking dick again.
Devin Evans, we're homosexuals.
He lets them come in and shows them his little doll collection because he's the creator of the Good Guy doll, and here is the original. Even though it looks nothing like OG Chucky, then Coraline's bitch comes out. Lexi goes to see her, but obviously she ain't on their side. And Chucky finally reveals himself. Lexi starts talking to her little shit of a sister, but she don't give a fuck. Then they start making the thing and start chanting. Jake finally gets back in his body, and that means Chucky did too. He gets up and talks to the creator.
I'm 65 fucking years old. I don't need a father figure.
Then he shows them his master plan, which is just as fuck. Then Tiffany finally rolls up and sees their plan too, and also gets a gift of her own, the Tiffany doll. Then Chucky fucking prepossessed to her. She says yes and they roll out. Then we see Nika arriving at the house and sees the worst fucking ending in history. The gang are now these ugly ass dolls, and the creator shows up behind her. The episode ends with Chucky and Tiffany getting down. I counted 14 deaths in this finale, 12 guys and 2 girls. I'll give Golden Peter Griffin for coolest kill, to that fucker Price, and Drunk Peter for gayest kill, to Grant's agent friend.